Okay. Okay, check, check, check. Okay, good. We are recording and we are live. Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is the First Inning Radio Show, live on television radio. And I am the BX Bomber, and I think I'm the second biggest Yankee fan because I am along with the first biggest Yankee fan, Roger, the big Yankee fan. Say hello.
Hello, BX Bomber. Good to talk to you, and it's great to talk to you tonight. And you are also a very big Yankees fan as well, and there are many other big Yankees fans as well. But it's good to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, man, it's great news to hear Mariano in the Hall of Fame, man. This is the Hall of Fame electoral or election results, and Mariano made it in unanimously, first time ever in the 75-year history of Cooperstown. Isn't that unbelievable?
Yes, it certainly is, and I mean that includes players like Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth, and it is amazing. It really is.
Let's see
and,
what how he feels in his own words here.
Okay.
Organization there is in baseball, Yankees, and end up with this like that. It's amazing. One thing was that I always remember is that wearing number 42, being representing Mr. Jackie Robinson, and him, I assume that was the first number 42 elected, and me being the last player to wear number 42, being elected to the Hall of Fame, unanimous. It's amazing. All I have to say is thank God for that.
It's a bookend, Mo. Well deserved.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that is fantastic. It is great hearing it from his own mouth. It is great to hear it from Mariano Rivera. And he also went in with a class of three other players. There were four altogether. And Mike Mussina made it in, along with Edgar Martinez and Roy Halladay. And Mike Mussina's full name is Michael Cole Mussina, and he was born on December 8th, 1968, and he was born in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the home of the Little League. The home of the Little League. And he played for the Orioles from 1992 until the year 2000, coming to the Yankees in the year 2001 and playing in 2008. And he won 270 games and lost 153. And he had a career earned run average of 3.68, and he had 2,813 career strikeouts.
Wow.
So he had a great career as well, Mike Mussina.
Mike Mussina, there's controversy around him now because he's in limbo of going in as a Yankee or a Baltimore Oriole.
Right. It's hard to say because he spent the same amount of equal time with both the Orioles and the Yankees.
How do you feel? What team he should go in as in Cooperstown?
Well, I'll really leave it up to him. He is the one going in. I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm, partial to the Yankees. But I would leave it up to him. It is his career, and I'll leave it up to him to make that decision.
I tell you, yeah, go ahead. I tell you one thing. When I was in junior high school, I was reading about this trade, Mike Mussina. He was already a big pitcher coming from the Orioles. I think he was already kind of established in Baltimore when we got him.
Oh, yes, he was a star.
Yeah, he was like a big-time star. And then when we got him, he's the reason why we went to the World Series again and all that, and playoffs and everything. So I think he might choose Baltimore, man.
Maybe. It's hard to say. That's who he came up with in 1992. His career extended from 1992 to 2008, and from 92 to 2000, he was with the Orioles, and then 2001 until 2008 with the Yankees. So he may be partial to the team that he first came up with. I was thinking that Reggie Jackson, spent many years with the A's and 1 year with the Orioles and a year with the Angels, but he decided to go in as a Yankee, even though Reggie spent 5 years of his very long career with the Yankees. So it really is to the individual player.
Yeah, because he went as a Yankee because he had more historic moments as a Yankee.
Exactly.
You know, he was more
true.
legendary when he hit the 4 home runs back to back. It's 3 on paper, but it's actually 4 home runs because he hit 1 home run the last game, and then he hit 3 in a row. So yeah, he got a lot of feats with the Yankees. So yeah, it's only right, you know, with the Yankees, you know.
Exactly, and he's very tied to the Yankees now. He's a special advisor and everything as well. And the next player that went in was the great Edgar Martinez, who was born January 2nd, 1963. He is a Puerto Rican native and spent his entire career with the Mariners from 1987 to 2004. And he had a .312 career batting average with 2,247 hits, and he had 309 career home runs and 1,261 career runs batted in. And he was just a great player, playing many years with the Mariners.
Yeah, man. No, Edgar Martinez was a hell of a batter, man. That dude, you couldn't throw nothing past him. He's gonna hit it. You know?
Exactly.
And he hit those bloop singles too a lot. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He had 309 career home runs. He was a .312 career hitter and over a .300 hitter. And he was a great player many years with the Mariners, had a very long career, and he'll be going in. And then the very sad story of Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay will be going in as well.
Yeah.
And his name is Harry Leroy Halladay. And he was tragically killed in a plane crash in the Gulf of Mexico on November 7th, 2017. And he is a career 203 wins with 105 losses. He had a career earned run average of 3.38, and he had 2,117 strikeouts and played quite a number of years with the Blue Jays and then with the Phillies as well. And his career was tragically cut short by that very horrible plane crash near Florida in the Gulf of Mexico.
Man, let me tell you, I was a fan of Halladay from the old stadium. I used to watch him pitch. I was like, damn, we need to get this guy. And we could never get him for some reason. The Yankees never got him for whatever it was. But
he was a brilliant pitcher
he
for a
was
number of
nasty,
years.
man. He was disgusting, yo. He used to shut it down. And he was a pitcher that could pitch in cold weather, too, man. He was one of those special ones, man. Yeah, because you know, like now they can't pitch in the cold weather. They can't grip the ball or whatever their problem is. But this guy Halladay, he used to pitch good in the cold and better in the summer.
He had a no-hitter in the playoff game with the Phillies. He pitched a no-hitter during the playoffs.
1 of 2.
Yeah, Don Larson is the only one to do it in the World Series, but Halladay did it in the playoffs, and that is pretty amazing.
Don Larson pitched the perfect game, though.
Yes, exactly.
That's kind of different, you know, but it's still a no-hitter, but he pitched a perfect game, and Halladay pitched a no-hitter, which means he walked the batter.
Right.
You know, Don Larson never walked the batter. That's a difference.
I know, and Don Larson really, as a pitcher for his career, was just an average pitcher during his career, but he had one amazing game in 1956 World Series. And that was an amazing game, and the old film clips of Yogi Berra jumping up on him after he got the last out with the strikeout.
Yeah,
that was an amazing game. And now we get to the great Mariano Rivera, and I'll give you a full list of his stats.
Man, let me tell you, man. I go back to the old stadium again, man. You know how many times I seen that man come out of that gate like a raging bull in a rodeo. Oh man, I could close my eyes, Roger, and still see him coming out with Enter the Sandman and all that. Oh man, that was heavy, man. That was heavy. And you know when he was coming, you know the game was over. It was over. And you knew
why he was a Sandman.
Yes. And you know he was throwing the cutter. Everybody in the ballpark knows he's throwing that pitch to you in that spot.
And still couldn't hit it.
And still couldn't hit it. Wow, man. No, man. You got to give it to that guy, man.
Exactly. Right.
And he, but yo, when one day I went to the Subway Series in City Field, and he blew that game over there, man. Oh man, they were on me that day, boy. Going home, damn,
Right.
Mariano. But yeah, that's all right. And as well, talk about Mariano. My dad, we purchased a limited edition that he signed when he had the 602 saves. They had the special ball, commemorative ball. Well, I got that signed by him, and the number of how many it was 1,602 he signed, and I have like number 36 or something like that.
Wow, that is a treasure. You keep that forever.
Yeah, man, and man, that's Mariano, man. That's unbelievable. I haven't got to meet Mariano yet. My dad met Mariano because he used to work there, and he used to work behind the dugout. And one time, my dad told me the story that he saw Mariano. There was these people, because you know he had the line that you couldn't pass where you need a ticket to go down into the special boxes behind the dugout, right? So you couldn't get past him without a ticket. So these people, like salespeople, needed to speak to him about some housing that he purchased in Florida or some crap, and they needed to speak to him right away. And he was like, "No, you gotta call him." And then he came out on the field, and they were yelling at him. And then like Mariano told my dad to let him down, and he spoke to them about some property that he purchased in Florida, and they were showing him pictures or whatever, and that to meet up. And man, there's a lot of things that goes on in a you know, that we think that they just playing a baseball game, and it's true, they just playing a baseball game, but we don't see the things that go on the outside, like this story, like somebody hounding him about some property in Florida. You know what I mean? Before a game. It's crazy stuff, man. But that was the old stadium back in the days, man. It was rough back there. You know?
Oh, yes. Well, at that time, young kids could go right up to the dugout and everything and get autographs and all of that. And I have a lot about my watching of Mariano Rivera as well. So I'll get out of his way his statistics for you if you would like.
Before you do, one more story.
Okay.
I had to speak my mind one day. I had to curse him out one day in the old stadium, man. Say, yo, come on, man. We got to get our together, and you got to go out there. It's the bottom of the ninth, and we got to win this game, bro. That's it. Let's do it, man. He went out there and shut it down. Go ahead,
well,
man.
90% of the time, that's what he did. 99% of the time, for sure.
And I was 14 years old saying these things. That was horrible, man. Where were my parents?
Yeah, exactly. He had a 56.2 career WAR, wins above replacement. He won 82 career games, lost 60. He had an earned run average of 2.21. He was in 1,115 games, and he did start 10 games during his career, right at the very beginning. And he had 652 career saves, which is the all-time record, 652. And he pitched 1,283 and two-thirds innings, and he had 1,173 career strikeouts, and the walks, hits, innings pitched, a whip of exactly 1.00. And that is amazing. And he had great statistics. And he was born on November 29th, 1969 in Panama. And he was the last player born in the 60s. And the village that he grew up in was called Puerto Cayamito. And he debuted. Yeah, and he debuted May 3rd, 1995, and his last start was September 26th. His last appearance was September 26th, 2013, and he had 25 saves for 15 consecutive seasons, including 13 All-Star appearances. And his wife's name is Clara, and he's a deeply religious man.
Yes.
And And one of the things that happened to him that also helped him to become even more religious was he was scheduled to get on American Airlines Flight 587, and he did not get on American Airlines Flight 87, and that plane tragically crashed, killing 260 people.
Wow.
And he would have gotten on that plane, but he did not get on that plane, and that made him even more religious. That he felt that someone was definitely looking out for him, that he did not get on that plane. As you know, I'm not religious myself, but Mariano is very religious and does a lot of charity work with Christian organizations, and he has the Mariano Rivera Foundation as well.
He actually rebuilt the church in New Rochelle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he did one in his own hometown as well.
Yeah, he has his own congregation there in New Rochelle. And in New Rochelle, he has a steakhouse, which I haven't been yet to, and I don't know why the hell I haven't been there yet. It's called number 42. Or 42. I think it's called 42. Like that, yeah. And it's in New Rochelle as well. He has a steakhouse there too.
I actually, speaking of on the same lines here, I actually worked for Lou Piniella for a short period of time because I was working with some upholsterers up in New Jersey, and Lou Piniella bought a restaurant in what is called Woodbridge Center, which is in Woodbridge Township in New Jersey, in north central New Jersey, and they were restaurant was called Winners. And it was in the 1980s, and Piniella bought it, and we were doing it.
Hold on. You gotta repeat that because you were breaking up a little bit there.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I have to watch because I'm sitting in the basement, and sometimes my signal goes out. I actually worked for Lou Piniella for a brief period of time because Lou Piniella bought a restaurant in Woodbridge Center, which is located in New Jersey. It is a shopping mall, and we did the upholstery work at that restaurant when they were renovating it to get it open. So I actually did some work on Lou Piniella's restaurant, which is in Woodbridge Center in New Jersey. So that's pretty interesting, but that would be cool. You should go visit that steakhouse. That would be great. Yeah. I love steak. I haven't had it in a while, but steak is one of my favorites. I happen to like it rare myself.
Yeah, I like it crispy.
Yeah, I like it rare.
But tender.
Yes. So you kind of like medium rare then?
Yeah, medium rare. But I like it crispy on the outside though.
And
nice and juicy in the inside. Like not rare, but yeah, medium.
Medium. That sounds good. But yes, I spent many years. I'm a bit older than you, quite a bit older than you, and saw Mariano when he first came up, and so I have been going to Yankee games quite a bit all through the 90s, the 2000s, into the 2000 teens. So I had many years of seeing Mariano Rivera come in and close games, and I tend to stay to the end of the games because, when I travel into New York City, into the Bronx, after traveling all the way in, I like to stay for the entire game and see Rivera come in.
He was an attraction, man. He was an attraction. If you knew the Yankees were going to win, you wanted to see Mariano come out. That was bottom line, man. That was bottom line.
And one of the great things that I got to do is I was at Mariano Rivera Day in 2013, and Metallica played Enter Sandman live in the outfield. I went with my late friend Lynn Marie, who had many health issues. She passed away when she was only in her mid-60s, but she had many health issues. And we went and we saw Mariano Rivera Day, and that was a major special day. And boy, remember how Yankee Stadium was on the outside when you were there for the wild card game against the Oakland A's?
Right.
Well, that's how it was for Mariano Rivera Day as well. It was so packed you could not move outside of Yankee Stadium hours before the game.
Yeah, man, it was that bad, man. Because my dad used to work in that section, and that little if anybody remembers the old stadium, down below field level, that walkway was so thin. Like you would bump into like shoulders, like walking by people. You know, you had to basically walk sideways, kind of. You know,
Oh
in
yeah,
that
those
walkway.
alleyways, they were very narrow, very narrow.
You
And
know,
I mean, what a difference between the old stadium, which had a lot of charm, and the new stadium, which has such huge concourses and wide open areas and spaces in the new Yankee Stadium. But the old Yankee Stadium was very congested, especially the hallways behind the stands.
and no ventilation at all. No ventilation
No,
at all.
no,
When it was hot and steamy, and you couldn't breathe, like almost no
Oh
oxygen.
yeah, it was very stuffy indeed. But the old stadium was amazing, but the new stadium, I like them both. The new stadium obviously is much more modern, has more modern amenities, and many more luxurious things such as restaurants and stores and everything. But the old stadium certainly had a lot of charm too, and it had a certain type of atmosphere that the new Yankee Stadium did not have when it first opened. But the atmosphere has come back in the new stadium a bit during the playoffs.
Well, the new stadium has better amenities, but the old stadium had a better view of the game.
Yeah, the upper deck was really, you were on top of the field when you were in the upper deck.
Yeah.
But that angle was very. I mean, if you were afraid of heights, that angle was heavy duty going up and down those stairs.
Yeah, man. Yo, one time I was sitting field level and I watched a fight break out in the upper deck, and two cops tried to break it up, and the cop and the guy fell over the railing rolling down the seats, man. That was crazy. Man,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, the Bronx was crazy back in them days, man.
Oh yeah. I was there in the 70s as a teenager, so I know all about it in the 70s. And it was crazy when Chris Chambliss, I was not at that game, but when Chris Chambliss hit the walk-off home run against the Kansas City Royals in 1976, how the fans charged the field, and there were thousands of fans on the field, and Chris Chambliss pretty much could not make it around the bases.
Yeah.
And Bob Shepard had to really make announcements to the fans that they had to stop throwing things on the field, and that is a very dangerous situation. And the 70s were crazy. I was at a number of games in the 70s. In 78, I was at the winning game of the playoffs when the Yankees won the pennant in 78 against the Kansas City Royals. And the fans charged the field at that time, too. That was a regular occurrence in the 70s, the fans charging the field.
Yeah, man. It was wild, man. Now, to talk about Mariano real quick, we forgot that. Remember, he broke his leg. Remember, he broke his ankle?
Yes.
And
that was
I thought
the entire season.
Yeah, I thought the Yankees was over, man. People wanted to commit suicide, all kind of stuff, man, that year. It was crazy, man, to when he got hurt, and then luckily he came back, to finish it out, and then he retired
that was very rough.
Yeah, man, that was horrible, catching a fly ball over there in batting practice.
And I believe that's when David Robertson first moved into the role for that year, and then Mariano came back and pitched another year, and then he retired, and David Robertson moved in at that point and was the closer for a few years until he left with the White Sox. And then, of course, David Robertson came back, but he has left again as a free agent for the Phillies. But this Yankee bullpen looks very strong for 2019.
Yeah, man, it looks just like 1998 again. Hopefully, it could work out, man. But they have to go strong, man. Nobody could get hurt, and it's hard because people get hurt, And
one thing you could always count on is injuries.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And you can never determine when it's gonna happen. It could happen the first game. Like it did a few times in Yankee seasons. Players get blown out or whatever. But you know what? The Yankees, the Yankees have a good minor league system, and they got some guys out there that could come up that are expandable. And you know what? We could probably get out there, and we can, You know what? But it depends on Boston. Like I told you before, it depends on Boston. Depends on if they drop the ball, we could win the World Series. If they play like they played last year, oh man, we're gonna have a hard time.
Exactly. And the last thing, speaking of the farm system and what's happening there, that we could talk about is the Yankees did trade Sonny Gray to the Cincinnati Reds, and it was a three-team trade. The Cincinnati Reds were involved, and the Yankees and the Seattle Mariners as well. And the Reds acquired Sonny Gray and left-hand pitcher Reavers San Martin, and the Yankees acquired a second baseman named Shed Long and a 2019 compensatory round pick as well. And then the Yankees turned around and traded Shed Long to the Seattle Mariners, and the Yankees acquired a player named Josh Stowers, who is 6'1" and 195 pounds, and is a lefty line drive hitter, and has as good a chance as any to make it up through the minor league system. So the Yankees came away with a young player named Josh Stowers after all the trading was done, and Sonny Gray is now with the Cincinnati Reds.
Wow, but you know what? The Cincinnati Reds, it worked out to get Sonny Gray for them, because he comes to Cincinnati as they ace pitcher now.
Yeah.
Because he's actually better than what they have now in Cincinnati.
Right. They're very psyched about him.
Yeah, because if he only pitched bad in Yankee Stadium and he hasn't pitched in the National League yet, so he might do better in the National League.
Yes, I think a change of scenery will do Sonny Gray good. He really had trouble handling New York and had an earned run average of like 6.88 or something like that, pitching at Yankee Stadium, but had an earned run average of 3 or under on the road. So his problems were mainly at Yankee Stadium. Yeah,
because American League stadiums, they're more for the home run ball.
Especially in the East.
Yeah, especially in the East. And National League stadiums, they're more open-aired stadiums, right? So they don't get more home runs than we do in those stadiums, if I'm correct or not. But I don't believe other stadiums get as many home runs as Boston and Yankee Stadium and Tropicana.
In Colorado, because of the air, they get a lot of home runs.
Yeah, they try to regulate that with freezing the baseball. Did you know that?
I know.
They put it in the incubator.
The humidifier situation that they do there as well.
Yeah.
But Colorado is also a situation there. And I guess the final thing that we could say is the stuff is still quiet and stuck in neutral as far as Manny Machado is concerned. So hopefully we'll have future things on that.
I think Manny Machado is waiting on Harper to sign.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck in neutral. They're out of gear right now. So
because if they both go to the Phillies, that's gonna be tough, man. That's gonna be they're gonna run through the National League. We're gonna have to see them in the World Series. Bottom line, and hopefully I think the Yankees should really pick up Harper though, man. How crazy of an outfield that would be with Stanton and Judd and Harper and whatever they do with Ellsbury and Brett Gardner.
And how Steinbrenner doesn't feel that Harper's really a fit for the Yankees, and they don't want to put him at a new position, first base, bringing him in. So it's not my opinion. I'm just going by what Hank Steinbrenner and Cashman have said, that they feel he's not really a fit for them.
No, it's true though. And I really don't think at this point that with the players that we have, because I really don't want to lose Andujar, and that we have Troy Tulowitzki, and he can play shortstop because he did pretty good with Toronto there, and they went to playoffs and everything there, so he's pretty legit. You know what I mean? I'm satisfied with that, but let's see. Hopefully he gets through it. And you got Torres there on second base, and then you got Lou Voit
Floyd, they don't. They're wondering. Now it's just a guessing game. They have to wait to see what the future brings. But Luke Floyd, they're wondering if he was a flash in the pan or if he's going to come back down to earth. But he put up some amazing power numbers with the Yankees when he came over, and really took that job away from Greg Bird and put up some amazing power numbers. And also the deal with the Yankees is they're very right-handed. You know how the Yankees batters were always known for having lefty power with the short porch.
And switch hitters, too.
This team is very right-handed now, but what they do is they go to the opposite field, so they still take advantage of the short porch.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. They hit it opposite way. You know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's A-Rod got a lot of home runs like that opposite way. It's a very short porch. It's true, and the wind blows that way, sometimes in that direction. It's weird.
I know, it's like a jet stream or something.
Yeah, it's like a jet stream. The people, I don't know, I don't remember the name of the company. There's a company that builds these stadiums, right? And
there's a number of them.
Yeah, and they were involved in Yankee Stadium, and this is science to the wind, a gust in that stadium. There's a science to that, And everything that's built, those windows that is cut out the way it is, that's all has something to do with that.
Exactly.
But people don't look at that way, but it's true. They actually, I don't know if they actually still have those videos on YouTube, but I remember seeing them like that. And even Yes Network reporting that, how they used to do the jet streams of the wind through the stadium and all that.
Next time we do our program, I'll have all the information on the architecture company and the construction company and everyone that worked on building Yankee Stadium.
We could make a whole podcast just for that.
Exactly. And anyway, I'm very happy that for this year's Hall of Fame class, I think that is wonderful. And I think we did a good 35, 40 minutes or so, and I think we covered a lot of information. So,
yeah, man, we did. We're doing good, man. We're gonna keep up the pace, and I thought that we can run some on the weekend, and
we'll talk about that in a little bit.
But yeah, man. And so right now we're on television radio. That's the new wave. That's what we're streaming now, and we're gonna be live over there, man. And we're gonna go big, man. And we're gonna talk baseball and whatever. And the first inning is not only about baseball as well. We're gonna have other topics too, And
okay.
Yeah, because the first inning, I want it to be as like an issue where we start at the root. Like the first inning, like of a baseball game, we start at the root of the problem and we work our way all the way to the end.
Sounds good.
Telling a story on what's going on. Like you said, you want to do climate control and stuff like that. And we'll just, go by there. It doesn't have to be about baseball all the time, but we can talk baseball half and talk serious stuff later. But we won't get into politics, but we'll keep it at but it's gonna be sports mostly. But this it's really good, man. This baseball season is gonna be really interesting to watch.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and seeing you and going to the games with you and doing the podcast. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And I wanna joke on the Yankees real quick. They sent out an email, right? Saying, "Oh, Yankee fans, register now for individual tickets going on sale on Ticketmaster on this day, blah, blah, blah. We understand that we're going to have a high volume of people purchasing tickets and blah, blah, blah." I read that and said, man, ain't nobody going to be buying no damn Yankee tickets.
No.
That stadium's going to be empty, man. You kidding me?
Well, I wouldn't quite say that, but you have plenty of time. We'll get our tickets the beginning of March.
Yeah, I want to make my first game calendar day.
Oh, okay, sounds good. We'll work all of that out.
Yeah.
So I would say we call it here, and I'll talk to you a little bit right after the podcast ends.
Absolutely, man. This has been a great podcast, and we want everybody to subscribe and show your support. and give a like, because when you give a like, we can see that and we understand that you care about us talking about this stuff, and it's really cool that people watch and listen. So hopefully people get inspired to watch baseball and hopefully become a fan like we are, you know, and whatever other stuff, you know. But anything like to say, Roger, before we go?
Oh, well, yes, I'm just a regular guy, and I enjoy doing this. My opinion, this is good, or any Yankees fan opinion is just as good as mine, and we're just regular fans, and I enjoy talking to my good buddy, the ex-Bomber, who's got this whole thing going, and look forward to doing more in the future.
That's right, man. And we're gonna continue to talk and do our thing. So this is the first inning radio show, and I'm your host BX Bomber, and this is Roger the Big Yankee Fan, and we're gonna say goodbye and see ya.
Take care.
Perfect.